I've got a question for you.
Okay.
How do you normally celebrate independence in Jamaica?
Like me personally?
Or you and your family?
Us as kids, just friends will go to the river, go to the beaches and stuff like that. But if I can remember, it wasn't really such a big thing for me. I was mostly concerned about,
Climb orange tree or something?
or buy my bicycle, fix up bicycles, or trying to have personal stuff that we can ride to the towns and stuff like that. But it wasn't really such a big thing when I was growing
So
up.
you never celebrated?
We were glad to be out of school. That was the biggest thing.
I get
Independence Day. It was
Yeah.
such a joy for all the boys, them get together, fix their bicycle up, and then go to the river, go to the beaches, that kind of stuff.
Hi guys, I am a Jamaican living abroad in the US to be exact. And today I have a topic that I want to talk about. And it's a topic where I have been a little naive to certain things for a very, very long time. But I really don't blame myself for being naive to these things. I kind of stumbled a little bit on this little subject about 10 years ago, and that is my identity. My identity as a Jamaican, my true identity as a Jamaican. And you're probably wondering, what does she mean by her identity? Well, just stick around, guys, and I will clear this up, okay? I just want to take the time to say happy 62nd birthday to my country, Jamaica. We're celebrating 62 years of independence, and it has been 62 years of growing and expanding. Jamaica is blossoming like crazy. We are so proud of our people, and we're so proud of our country, and I am proud to be a Jamaican. And with that being said, because we're currently celebrating independence in Jamaica, I just want to talk a little bit about my identity as a Jamaican. And not only just my identity as a Jamaican, but your identity as well. So as I get started, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. So I've always mentioned that I am Jamaican. I've always been proud to be Jamaican. I see myself as nothing more than Jamaican. Especially the good thing about being Jamaican is that you know that you are a Black person, but you don't necessarily think of yourself as such. You see yourself first based on your ethnicity over your complexion. You know what I mean? You see yourself first as a Jamaican than anything else. And that's just how we are. And wherever I go around the world, I usually hate to be identified as being Black, but I always wanted to be recognized for my ethnic background, which is I'm Jamaican. That is how I would like to address myself anywhere I go around the world. But anyhow, talking about being Jamaican, there's another side to being Jamaican that I really was not aware of for many, many years. And that is because these are things that is not spoken about in our homes or in public spaces. So these are not things that you speak about in your home or in public places. These are things that, for me, I don't know for anyone else out there, I kind of stumbled upon it. And what you're probably wondering, what is she talking about? Guys, 10 years back, my eyes started to open up to the fact that I am an Afro-Jamaican. I'm an Afro-Jamaican. Yeah. 10 years ago, I came to the realization, like my eyes started to open, that I am an Afro-Jamaican. And the reason why I say that is because I have never associated myself with Africa. If anybody asks, who are you? The first thing you will say is Jamaican. You never see yourself as an African. Even today, I believe that I am not the only one who thinks that way. I still believe that there are some of us Jamaicans that still disconnect ourselves with Africa. I am an Afro-Jamaican, and I am going to read the definition of an Afro-Jamaican, and I want you to tell me, do you see yourself as an Afro-Jamaican? So here it is. This is the definition, and this I actually pulled up on Google. So if you should look up the word Afro-Jamaican, it means Afro-Jamaicans are Jamaicans of predominantly African descent. They represent the largest ethnic group in the country. The ethnogenesis of the Black Jamaican people stemmed from the Atlantic slave trade of the 16th century, when enslaved Africans were transported as slaves to Jamaica and other parts of the Americas. So that African side of me, it's almost as if it was cut off from us. Can I say that? I just never knew or never thought of myself as African. I treat it as two separate entities. Jamaicans are Jamaicans, Africans are Africans. Anyone else felt that way? Okay, now hear me out, guys. Be patient with me. I left 8th grade in Jamaica to 9th grade in the United States. I'm not sure if in Jamaica they speak about these things, if they teach about us being Africans. I don't know. That entire history I missed in Jamaica. So I came here to the United States, right? And of course, you know, there are African Americans here in the United States, and they make it very clear that they are African Americans. So you will more likely know that their ancestors came from Africa. But for some reason, as a Black woman, I never stopped to think that my ancestors came from Africa. Now, the funny thing is, and it is actually very sad, is that I felt like African in general, I felt like we've had this distaste in our mouth about Africa because of how it was portrayed in the media. We always see the little children that looks hungry and very impoverished. The media portrays Africa to be in a very deplorable state. So I am not sure if we as a people, as a Jamaican people, were just ashamed to be associated with Africa. Guys, please forgive me. I hope I am not offending anyone. I'm just speaking the facts from my perspective. I don't know why is it like in public spaces we don't speak about the fact that we are. But I can tell you that now, these days, yes, things have changed. But growing up in the 80s and 90s, for me, I had no idea that I was connected to Africa. But I can tell now that, you know, there's an awareness. There's an awareness or an awakening that is happening, and people are waking up and beginning to see themselves for who they are. And I'm so glad I did 10 years ago. So even though I know you guys are having a blast in Jamaica, I'm trying to, capture a little bit of that excitement as much as I can here by watching a few programs on YouTube. Okay, this is my way of actually joining in with the celebration. did I came into the reality that I am an African? Well, I was watching YouTube. And I saw a group of young men. They were dancing. And because Africans love to dance, it's a part of their culture, it's a part of who they are. So are Jamaicans. We love to dance. You know what? Black people in general, we love to move and we love to dance. Well, I saw they were dancing, and I said to myself, I said, whoa, why is it that they look so Jamaican? Why is it that they look so Jamaican? I couldn't tell the difference. Are they Jamaican? They're Africans? Okay. Turn out, yes, they were African. So that's kind of when the awareness came about for me. 10 years ago, I started to recognize patterns. I started to see certain things about Africa that is very similar to Jamaica. And that is when my mind it clicked. And I said, wait a second, our ancestors came out of Africa. And I, based on what I've learned in school here in the United States, I started to put two and two together, that, wait a second, our ancestors came from Africa. So that means we are the descendants of Africans. So I came to realize the truth about my identity as a Jamaican is that I am an Afro-Jamaican, and so are many Jamaicans out there. It's not every Jamaican falls into that category. Your descendants have to come through the Atlantic slave trade or the triangular slave trade to be recognized as an Afro-Jamaican. I feel that our Rastafarian community, they are more aware, or they are more accepting of this than non-Rastafarians. The Rastafarians, they are always singing about Africa. They are always wanting to go to Africa. They were more connected with it. They were more accepting of the truth, I feel, than non-Rastafarians. But I'm really so glad that 10 years ago, all that naiveness started to strip from me, and I've come into terms to accept my true identity as an Afro-Jamaican. I'm proud. I'm proud of it. I'm very, very proud of being an Afro-Jamaican. Now, here's the thing. I have always wanted to go to Africa. When I was a teenager in high school, I have always, for some reason, felt connected to Africa on a subconscious level. So even though I'm not thinking of myself as an African, I think of Africa and Jamaica as two separate entities, two separate countries, two separate people. Still, subconsciously, I've always wanted to go to Africa. And how did that start? Because there was a book that I was reading called Things Fall Apart by, I believe the name is Anwar Achibe. I was reading that book, and the character in that story, I felt like I could see myself in that character, and it just sparked my imagination. And ever since I read that book, I became so curious of Africa, and I just wanted to go there. So subconsciously, I've always been connected to Africa. I've always been curious about it. And now I really, till this day, I want to go to Africa because I want to see the motherland for myself. I want to walk on the soil of the motherland, where my ancestors came from, you know. I just want to know more about who I am. I don't know if there's anyone else out there that feel that way. If you do, please leave it in the comment section. I would like to know what your thoughts are about being an Afro-Jamaican, or even if you're not necessarily from Jamaica, but any other countries that you're watching from. How do you see yourself, you know, being connected to Africa? Did you always know that you were an African? You know, so let me know in the comment section. So now that I am aware of who I am, and it actually started 10 years ago, I am curious. I want to know more about our people, you know. I wish there was a way to learn about the last names. It would be nice to know your actual last name, your African name. I would have loved to know that. And I want to know about religion, language spoken, type of food they eat, you know, how much of the culture actually we are living today in Jamaica, but don't really realize that is actually coming out of Africa. So I've done a little bit of research, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in the next video. So guys, thank you so much for watching this channel. I hope y'all don't think that I'm being naive. I am pretty sure there are other Jamaicans out there who feel or think this way, and we need to wake up to the fact that we are Afro-Jamaicans. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.
Alright, ready, Sarisha? Yeah. Ready, alright. Hold the phone good enough.
Hold it good.
Alright, start.
Alright.